I, 30 female, have been lying about my son's father for 12 years, and I want to finally tell the truth to my parents and my son. When I was 16, I was in a relationship with a 26-year-old man. I'm 30 years old now and now understand how wrong that relationship was. To a large degree, I even knew it was wrong back then. I don't feel that he groomed me or manipulated me into it. I don't feel like I was naive or talked into doing anything I didn't want to. I still believe I genuinely loved him, and a part of my heart still loves him. He refused to have intercourse with me for a long time, but I pushed and begged, and when things finally happened between us, I felt like I had gotten what I wanted. I was too young to understand any of it, but I understand that he was the adult, and he should never have given in, no matter how much I begged. I know he felt guilty about it. When I was 17, I got pregnant. He asked me to marry him, but I said no. He had severe mental health issues, clinical depression, to the point of hospitalization at one point. By the time he asked me to marry him, he was really spiraling and I think just grasping at straws for things that he felt would make him happy. If we had the baby and got married, he'd be happy, but I knew that was not the case. I was scared of what was happening. He ended up taking his own life less than 2 months later. I've never told anyone who my son's father really is. My family has no clue that this man ever existed. Only my best friend knows. I lied back then and said I met someone at a party and didn't know who he was. It was a terrible lie because, as crazy as it was for me to have been involved with this adult man, it was even crazier to imagine me going to a party and having a random one-night stand with someone I didn't know. That's not something I've ever done, and I don't know how anyone who knew me back then would even believe that lie. I was the studious little straight A student who didn't do anything wrong. I was desperate and scared, so I lied. My parents were already crushed that I was pregnant at 17, and I didn't think they could handle knowing the truth about who the father really was. I thought I'd get in even bigger trouble for doing something so dumb, and I wanted to protect him. My son is 12 now. He's smart, kind, and starting to ask questions about his dad. I've kept this lie up for so long that I don't even know how to start unraveling it. I want to show him the pictures I have of his dad and tell him where his eyes and hair color come from. I don't want him to believe his father is some random stranger out there who doesn't even know he exists and who he might be able to find through a DNA test. Telling my parents the truth after all these years might destroy the peace we finally found. They were disappointed for a long time after my pregnancy, and it took years for things to feel normal again. I'm scared I'll lose that. At the same time, I can't stand lying anymore, especially to my son. It makes me sick every time I repeat the lie. Anytime somebody asks me about his dad, he deserves the truth, even if it's messy. I don't even know where to start. How do I tell my parents? How do I tell my son in an age-appropriate way who his father was and how he died? How do I handle the fallout of all of this? I just want to do the right thing, but I'm so scared it'll blow up everything again. Now, of course, this person is asking for advice, and I think there's a couple comments that are pretty helpful. There's absolutely no way a Reddit thread is going to give you good advice here. You need to work with a licensed professional in family therapy. Whatever you end up doing will have consequences. You need to have someone to help you understand the consequences and how to engage with your family members if and when these actions, or non-actions as the current case is, will lead out. The other good comment that I found is, I think you need to separate two things: what's age appropriate to tell your son and what you tell your parents. Tell your parents some version of what you've said here. I think they will understand that you were a scared teen who didn't know how to tell them that you'd gotten in and over your head in a relationship with an adult. Your son does not need to know that many details. Your father was a man I knew when I was a teenager. Give the name. We didn't get married because I was too young, and I knew it wasn't the right choice for me. He died before you were born. That may be all he needs to know for now. If he has specific questions, you can answer them. When he is older, you can point out that you should not have been in a relationship with an adult as a 16-year-old, but at 12, I think that is not what's important for him to process. So those were the two comments that I thought were pretty helpful. Hopefully this person finds the right way to deal with this and their family can heal from this in a healthy way. Okay, on to the next story. I, 28 female, am seriously considering divorcing my husband, 32 male, because of how he treated my dog and what comes after it. Background on my story. My husband is never mean to my dog, but he's very much not a pet person. I knew about that going into the marriage. I was fine with him not interacting with my dog or helping me with dog duties. I accepted that. His only duty is to open the yard door to let my dog out to pee when I work 10-hour shifts. Even that simple task, he complains that this is a lot of work for him and makes him stressed out. His reasoning is that having to let the dog out means that he has to constantly keep this at the back of his head, and it's one extra thing that he has to do on top of his busy work, which stresses him out. Anyway, he still did let him out to pee most of the time, and I kind of just accepted that. Recently, I had to travel out of country because my mom needed surgery. I was gone for a total of 3 weeks. The first week, I asked my friend to take care of my dog, but they were too busy for the last 2 weeks. So I asked my husband to take care of him. He did not complain and said okay, which I appreciate. I got back from my trip and found that my 17-pound dog has lost 5 pounds under his care. That's a third of his weight. My poor puppy is depressed that I'm gone, and God knows whether he's being fed twice a day as per my instructions. My dog always loses weight when I'm gone due to stress, but losing a third of your body weight in 13 days? So obviously, I was very unhappy about that. I was debating about whether I should have an argument with him because technically he did do me a favor by taking care of my dog, but he also did a really poor job. It also feels like this is weaponized incompetence, which isn't. He's still a person of good nature. He would never purposely hurt my dog. I just can't get over the fact that he's casually making jokes that, oh well, he's skinny now, at least he's easier to carry. Again, I'm okay with him not caring about my dog. I know I shouldn't be, as long as he doesn't hurt him. I was already okay with that. All I wanted to do was have a conversation with him, telling him he did not do a very good job of taking care of my dog, and that he should know better. He then started complaining about how taking care of my dog is extremely stressful for him, that he has to constantly think about whether the dog ate or peed for the whole day, and it's stressing him out. I said that I already gave you the bare minimum instructions. All you have to do is feed twice a day, make sure the water bowl isn't empty, and let him out for the bathroom every few hours. He said, "These tasks are incredibly stressful. Why can't you understand? It's so much work that it's like a second part-time job. I have to constantly think about him all day. Did he pee? Did I feed him? That's incredibly stressful." Obviously, anyone would not agree that these simple tasks are stressful, so I disagreed. He then started yelling at me, saying that I don't appreciate anything that he does, that I'm not being understanding about how stressful it is for him to take care of my dog for 2 weeks, that he's under so much stress for the past 2 weeks, and I'm still complaining. The argument ended with him saying that he doesn't want to deal with this and told me to F off, yelling. I still wanted to fix this somehow, but I don't even know how to fight back to his arguments. Can anyone help? And they added an edit. I'm not putting blame completely on him for my dog losing weight, because stress is also a big factor. I'm just pissed that he yelled at me simply because I pointed out that he did a poor job taking care of him. All I wanted was for him to learn that he should be more careful and ask me questions if he's not sure about dog care. It's the yelling that makes me consider divorce, not the dog care. So I think this might still be fixable, but I'm not even sure how to go about it. That's why I'm looking for advice. Another edit to add. He fed my dog for sure because the food bag did get less full. I had a full bag before I left and it was definitely used. Now I believe he did sometimes forget to feed him twice a day, but I don't know how often. Not saying this is acceptable, but for people that think my dog was not fed at all, that's not the case. But he did neglect my dog, and I just wanted to bring that point across to him that this is not acceptable. You don't have to like him to feed him twice a day. The top comment says, "I hope you don't plan to have children with someone who's this stressed taking care of a dog about 10 minutes total a day." The OP also responded to this comment further down saying, "I'm at a point where I might want to have kids, but I don't want to have kids with this man. And that might be a good idea." Now on to the third story. I found a weird text on my boyfriend's 32 male phone sent to his friend, and I, 30 female, am not sure about taking this relationship ahead. I, 30 female, am living with my boyfriend, 32 male, of 7 years, and I'm now planning to get married in the next couple of months. Recently, I saw a text on his phone sent to one of his female friends which said something like below. So, I think I'm actually in a relationship now, and honestly, I'm done with the whole things eventually blow up cycle. This one might even end up going the marriage route. Everything's been moving kind of fast, still super early of course, but after the absolute madness and just wanting my life to change, I basically went screw it, let's do this. I was desperate to get out of my own head, and this just felt like a nice solid option. I wanted to tell you earlier, but I was still figuring it out myself. And then by the time I got back, everything was chaotic. When I saw you the other day, I realized I was just stalling. Apparently this is harder to talk to you about than I expected. And yeah, I guess there's still some leftover unresolved stuff on my end. Sorry, I know I said I wouldn't bring it up again, but seriously, don't worry, we're all clear. You're way too important to me as a friend, more than anything else, so please, don't be bothered. Even if you're annoyed I'm digging up old stuff again, I just needed to be honest. All that is behind me now, or will be soon. I'm apparently still not a full adult, but I'm trying. This girl is really understanding and it feels like something calmer and more grown up, not some dramatic starry-eyed thing. So yeah, awkward update. Don't give me some overly polite response. I'm an idiot. I should have told you and you would have handled it in your usual disgustingly cool way. But I didn't, and now I'm irritated with myself. I have modified the message for obvious reasons. For context, I know about this friend of his, but never met her. I know the fact that they had a history a couple years before I met him, but after being in a relationship with him for 7 years and us talking about marriage, this message looks like she has no idea about us. Also, our relationship didn't start anything like what he described in his message. I felt it was something spark at first sight. He kissed me the first time on our second meeting or so, and we weren't even expressed our feelings for each other at that point. I had a giant crush on him at that point. It's been 7 years after that, so definitely this is not early. I also realized none of his female friends knew about me, and now because this is getting official, he is trying to make it public very gently. I still haven't even met any of his female friends. Last year, I came to know that he lied to me one time and went out for a late night movie with another friend who was a female. When I came to know about it and brought it up to him, he just called her up in front of me and invited her for our wedding to prove me there's nothing going on between them. Then why the F would he lie? There had been issues 4 years back where he did break my trust, but we have worked on our relationship throughout these years. We also have been in long distance relationship for 3.5 years. I'm not someone who controls his life. I have always been someone who wants him to live his own life and meet his friends. Then why has he lied to me about meeting his female friends, if nothing is going on? I can't bring up such stuff without him snapping, or him thinking I'm blaming him. Yes, he has been there with me emotionally and mentally, and been my strength for the last 4 years, and kept reassuring me. But now why hide stuff about what's going on with female friends? Whenever I bring up about calling his friends along with his female friends to whom he has lied about to our house for dinner or whatever, he just avoids it, saying they are not that close, which I know is not true. You don't share your family and childhood pictures with those who are not close to you. This is literally bothering me, and I'm not sure how this marriage will work if he keeps lying about such things. Just to add a few bits here, not defending him, just putting out the actual picture. Me and him, we both are very private when it comes to sharing personal stuff to people. That includes friends. His male friends whom I met recently are surprised to know he was even in a relationship for 7 years. While we were living in separate countries with different time zones, he was with me on the phone, FaceTime, most of the times throughout the day. So much of that it never felt as if we were away. He even changed his schedules according to my time zones so that we can at least eat and sleep at the same time. We video called every single day before we went to bed and kept the FaceTime on throughout the time till we wake up in the morning. Also, in the 4 years of long distance relationship, he was the one who kept on asking me to come back to him, get married, start a life, blah blah, and then went for 2 years. For 2 whole years, he kept on bringing up about wedding stuff. Hence, I left my job and moved back to his country. Even after moving back, he took care of everything. I started having health issues, and he took care of me and medical bills, consoled my family, and made sure I'm comfortable. Recently, I had surgery, and he is the one taking care of me and is with 24/7 for the last 1 month. So yes, this is a huge blow on my trust. I need answers and will definitely get answers. Yes, time to step up for myself. The first comment is, you've been dating this guy for 7 years and none of his friends know about you? Am I understanding that correctly?